Welcome to Humanity Meets Business, Business Therapy with Christine Salvo. I cannot wait for our guest today. She is so amazing. It took a tragedy, an end to a promising career, and a great love to inspire Robin Sturm to pursue helping families in a new way. 3 years after the loss of her first child, who lived for only an hour, and the loss of her massage career at the same time, she realized while rubbing her second baby's tummy that infants need massage too. Today, she's a certified educator in infant massage and teaches parents and caregivers how to massage their babies. More importantly, she facilitates a very special bonding experience with benefits that last a lifetime. It is so exciting to have you, Robin. Thank you for coming.
Christine, thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be here.
So you used to be a massage therapist.
Yes.
And you did this with like adults primarily, I'm guessing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
You had a full massage therapy career. All this stuff's going on. You're pregnant, getting ready to have a baby, and things turned a different direction.
They did. Yeah. My plan was to, take some maternity leave, enjoy my baby, and then go back to my amazing clients and my massage business that I loved. And unfortunately, 5 months into the pregnancy, our baby was fatally diagnosed, and we were told it was a genetic disorder. We were told that it would be a 90% chance that she would make it till birth, and another 90% chance to make it to her first birthday if she did make it to birth. We were given some options, and we chose to carry her and hope for a miracle. And we got to meet our baby and hold her and name her, and we held her as she passed away less than an hour later. And yeah, as if that wasn't enough for two people to go through, I wanted to return to massage probably a month later, and had an MRI done on my back because I'd had some issues in the past. And turns out it was injured so much that I could not return to massage. So the life I was supposed to have was gone. The life I had was gone. It was a place of total loss.
Wow. Like, let's all take a breath after that. And really holding some loving space for you. That's so much, and that's really something that nobody can imagine going through, and most people can't imagine surviving, let alone turning kind of such tragedy and loss into kind of a lifelong pursuit now. It's like a whole new direction for you. Path from kind of losing it all to where you are now.
We finally, through fear and, just really wanting to be parents, decided to try again. And that was very scary. Just nothing, was going to be okay until we brought a living baby home, and she was perfectly healthy, and she just turned 4. So when she was about 7 months old, she had some gas issues, and I was rubbing her tummy, and I had never really let myself think about the loss of my career. I grieved the loss of my daughter. I did a lot of healing through that. But in that moment, I realized how much I loved massage and body work and what I did. And I was just flooded and inspired. And I thought, oh my gosh, babies need massage. Is this a thing? And started doing some research, and turns out it is a thing. And I held on to that dream for 3.5 years, and it led me to becoming a certified educator, where I'm teaching parents and caregivers, not massaging babies. So it just was such a gift from both of my daughters, honestly. And it was actually on Mother's Day that calling kind of hit me. So I always attribute that to my daughters, and as a gift.
Oh, that's beautiful. So why do babies need massage? I always think of massage like for myself. I need it like regularly because like I sit all day and I don't have perfect posture, and I look at the computer and I know I need it, right? But when I think of massage, I usually think of like tension, stress, I'm all like wound up and tight and I need to loosen up. And I never think of a baby that way. So this is pretty interesting. Like, enlighten me, please.
Absolutely. No, and I was the same way. I'm like, is this a thing? It is absolutely a thing. However, it is a completely different thing. Um,
Oh.
this is a bonding experience for babies to attune to and attach to their parents. It is an opportunity for them to learn to communicate with their babies. With the organization that I was certified through, we actually ask the babies permission before we massage them for every class. And that's so amazing to me because it's instilling this sense of ownership of their body, even at 2 months old, and you learn to read the baby's cues when it's a no and when it's a yes. And when the babies learn what is happening between them and their parents, they typically love it and they typically get excited when they know what's coming. There are 4 main areas in addition to that bonding that are the benefits for babies and for their parents. These include interaction, stimulation, relief, and relaxation. Our babies in that first 12 months, they're, as we know, little sponges are developing, their neural pathways are being created, and nurturing touch and massage help aid in those neural pathways being designed. It helps embody awareness. It's amazing. And just blood flow, all the things that help us. If there's colic, it can help aid in colic or relief in colic. It can help in sleeping. I know I laugh because sleeping well and listening to your baby, knowing what they're saying to you, these are not things we normally think of when you have a newborn, right? Like, oh, relaxation. So it can happen. It can absolutely happen. And it's just this amazing experience between the parents where they're giving to their child in a way that they're feeling loved, feeling appropriate, nurturing touch, and feeling a bond with someone that they're cared for and protected and loved in a way that's unique.
Yeah, that sounds really unique. And, I'm thinking, what do I know about being born? I mean, it happened, but I don't remember it. Right. And actually, what I do know about being born, what I do know about delivery and things like that is that actually is a pretty stressful event. So I would imagine that there is, being kind of like in this little bowl for all these months and then getting to spread out a little bit. I could see how I'm helping like the circulation and even kind of training the central nervous system to respond to touch in that relaxing way, right? Like it's pre-verbal. It's before we've even associated symbols and names and words and sounds to things. So this is going to be something really deep in the unconscious mind of setting those amazing triggers for your child of
yes.
massage time. And as they age into teenagers and adults, really like that will be an activating response for their central nervous system to go, time to calm down.
Yep. And there is a piece of the classes where we go over a certain touch where the parent is encouraging. It's kind of that feedback loop. Like if there's a place where they're holding on to, like not letting them massage their arm, we can hold it, encourage them, relax your arm, and then and kind of balance. And once they do, just that praise of good job, you relaxed your arm, and kiss and hug them, that becomes an automated response. So if you're talking about a child who's afraid of the dark or in a scary situation, that parent, they're going to be so in tune that they can place their hand on them and say, it's okay, relax, and their like you said, immune system or nervous system is going to go right there. It's amazing.
So since you started this work, I have to know like some of the stories. What's happened that's surprised you?
That has surprised me. Babies have behavioral states that repeat over and over, and this doesn't stop at infancy. It continues on into toddlerhood. There's typically four different states: sleep states, quiet sleep, active sleep, and then awake states that are quiet alert, active alert, and crying. And this is a pattern that repeats throughout the day. As I've gotten to work with these babies and families and watch them, it's like, oh my gosh, I had no idea when I had my daughter. but it's absolutely true. And they just repeat this, and there's certain times, certain states that it's better to give the massage when they're engaged and awake and receptive. Otherwise, babies can get pretty overwhelmed with too much stimulation or too much new things being introduced. It's, that's just how it is. But that surprised me to just see all these different babies and these continual behavior states repeating over and over.
Now, did you learn that in class, or is that an observation?
I did. We learned about that as I was getting certified, and then observed it over and over. It's been pretty awesome.
So you learned it, and then your awareness was attuned, and all of a sudden, once your awareness was attuned, you're like, oh, okay. So
Yep.
how has this helped you with your own child, like this training and learning how to do this? So for our parents kind of listening, it's like, okay, that sounds cool, but I can actually see some longer term effects here of being trained in this as a parent.
Absolutely. I mean, it's kind of just the deeper into that. I think most parents know, like, oh, she's tired, he's tired. We got our window's closing. They're going to be overly tired. We gotta get our bedtime routine going, that kind of thing. But this is just kind of deeper into that. Like, where in the tired spot are they? What are they feeling? What's going on with their body? What's going on with their body language? How can I assist in this behavioral state? So it's just a little bit more, attunement in that. So yeah, it's my daughter, like you said, is 4 now, and it's just funny too to watch. We don't go to the crying as much, because we work it out before they get to that state, but definitely still repeats the patterns.
So what do you notice with a baby after a massage is complete?
I work with the families once a week. So, and then they practice daily until our next session, and the session is 5 weeks. So when it's first introduced, it's really awesome to just see this amazing love between this parent and this baby. And this, they're set up in a way that there's so much eye contact, and the baby, they're close enough they can see their parent's face with that limited distance vision. So when we take the baby's lead. That is absolutely the number one thing in the class. So the baby is experiencing this massage as long as they are enjoying it, as long as they're open to it. Once they start to get overwhelmed or unsure, we stop, we discuss things. I demonstrate on a doll. So I continue with teaching, and the parents care for their child. So it's interesting to see from that first week to later on, week 4, week 5, to see their excitement. Part of asking permission is actually putting oil on your hands and rubbing it together, and they hear that sound and they see that motion, and you can see them get excited, like it's coming. And it's just like, oh, I remember that when I got regular massages. You get excited as you get to your appointment. So, and then just, you can absolutely tell the places that they enjoy being touched more than others on their bodies. And their parents know that too, because they've been practicing and they're learning. It's awesome. So
yeah. After the 5-week training, what are the parents encouraged to do?
They are encouraged to have this be a continued practice between them and their baby. And we do discuss in the classes adaptation for the growing child. For the toddler, we talked about, as they get older too, even teenagers and sports, things like that. And from trainers that I've met, they have shared how their adult children even come to them, and the language changes, right? Like teenagers maybe don't really want you to know that they want to be touched or massaged by you. So they'll kind of lean into you, sit a little closer, hint, hint, that kind of thing. So yeah,
like, Mom, rub my back.
Yeah. And I've heard even some other maybe 5-6-year-olds say, "Pet me, Mama, will you pet me?"
Oh, that's pretty cute.
Yeah.
So what's the feedback from your parents? So part of you, this was your own personal journey with your own child of like, and then it turned into an interest, and now it really sounds like a passion. So what's the feedback from the community, from the people that are doing this?
It's been good. It's been this, I feel more connected to my newborn, Those of us who've had new babies know how scary that can be. They say they don't come with a manual. It's absolutely true. So this is kind of as close as you can get to having a manual. You get to learn to communicate with them. Those behavioral states were eye-opening for several parents. They got to witness that and know what state their babies are in. Just a closeness that maybe they didn't feel at the beginning of the 5 weeks.
Okay, so the closeness, maybe even like you said earlier, being able to read the body language.
Yeah.
There is actually infant therapy. I am not trained in it.
Ooh.
But I have absolutely heard, I mean, it's fascinating to me. And it really is just being so tuned in to their mannerisms, to their body language, and recognizing that, right? But not only that, I think that, when we're talking about massage and stimulation, even with babies, a lot of new parents that I have are stressed out themselves.
Yeah.
And don't necessarily know how their energy is directly affecting their child, because their child,
Right.
again, is nonverbal at this point and just working with what they're bringing. So it's like, I'm stressed, I'm underslept, I feel like I don't know what I'm doing, I feel totally like, I'm failing as a parent. And then the baby won't stop crying, and baby won't stop crying. And then it reinforces these negative feelings for the parents. So I'm really kind of curious about more like the psychological effects on the parents and their kind of getting a sense of empowerment through this. Like at least I have, and a lot of parents have more tools than they ever give themselves credit for, but I have something tangible I can do, I can use, I can experience that can help me probably bring back their energy down, right? Bring them back to a grounded place.
Absolutely. And even just the act of touch connection in that way with another human, especially your baby, it decreases the stress hormones in them. Part of the education in the class is we do go over that and it is a piece of the class before we start and before we even undress babies, the adults get into a state of relaxation. We do a little breathing, we do a little stretching, we release everything that got us there, and just I kind of walk through a guided meditation of feel all the love and hope and joy that you have for this child and let that flow through you, because it really does. And just the act of them being centered, the babies always take the cues from their parents. So you're absolutely right. If they're stressed, and we often are in that state, they're going to feel that. And so it's a very empowering piece in this class to help the parents understand that and actually get to witness that. I did have a couple opportunities where parents were sharing with me something that was stressful while they still had their hand on their child. And we watched the baby change their demeanor. It was like, and I stopped the mom and said, "What are you feeling right now?" And she started telling me more of the story. And I said, "No, but what are you feeling? Look at your baby. Like, this is how subtle it can be." And she was like, "Wow." But yes, absolutely. As a massage therapist, when I would give massage, I would be completely centered and relaxed too. It's that benefit for them as well. The higher levels of relaxing hormones, they're getting improved sleep, as are their babies, which help them sleep, decrease in postnatal depression, and just having that piece of having this special language between them and their baby is just incredible and really helps them to feel, like they do have some knowledge. They do, and all those babies are unique. Even if they have twins in the class, it's gonna be two different experiences.
Yeah, I really love that you mentioned taking our own time as parents.
Yes.
and owning, like you said, especially when they're infants, that we're affecting them as much or more than they're affecting us, right? We're all bouncing off each other, but as the adult, as the cognitive, as the cognitively aware one, as one with the language skills, we really have to monitor what we're doing and realize that that's impacting even on just that like energetic level, like you said, just touching the baby had an impact even while she wasn't paying attention, right? She wasn't directing that at her child, but we're all kind of sponges. So in your massage therapy career, I've heard this from my own massage therapist that, they often have a practice after they massage someone of like washing their hands with cold water or kind of like touching something that's grounding and getting rid of that energy we pick up physically off of others. Did you have something like that you used to do?
Absolutely. And I want to share something from massage school because this blew my mind. We got into teams of two. One faced the back of the room and your partner faced the front, and we just placed a hand on the back of the person facing back. And the instructor would write some scenario on the board, like filing taxes, death of a grandparent, birth of a baby, like all these things that elicit emotions. And after each scenario, we would check in with our partner, and I want to say 95% of the time could tell us what they could feel coming from our hand to their body. And then we'd swap and do the same. And I kind of, of course, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know, I got to try it. And same thing. If you really are quiet and feel that, I could feel sadness. I could feel joy. It blew my mind and was such an eye opener to how much our touch and our energy can be passed on to other people. And yes, I was told protect yourself. And I did. I had a ritual where I'd protect myself going in, from that, and also check myself. Where was I, so that I'm not passing anything on to them.
Mm-hmm. So for our parents that are interested and they're like, listen, I'm stressed out all the time. I have a newborn. I don't even know. What are some grounding techniques that they can just start today? Like, what are some things they can do to really work on grounding and centering their energy so that when they do pick up their baby and they are holding their child, that they can have a little bit more confidence and a little bit more calm and ease?
Getting us back in our bodies can be such a quick grounding thing. So if you have a crying child, before you touch them, stop, roll your shoulders, put your arms out into the air, just stretch your body, feel your muscles, and take a deep breath. I've recently learned breathing in to the count of 4 and holding that for a count of 4, and then breathing out the same and holding that slows all of it down and really calms me down and grounds me. So just even that, minute to be conscious of where you're at and get back in your body instead of wherever your mind might be, whatever you're stressing about. Just take that moment. So breathe, stretch, pinch yourself, get yourself back in your body. And just anything that is going to get you out of your mind and your thoughts, wherever those might be. Connect with your body, remind yourself, check your feet where you are. And one thing that can also help too is to imagine feeling inside of you the love that you have for this baby. Like, times can be hard, it can be stressful, but just remember that love and the joy that you feel for this child. And that seems to be a good place to kind of come back to the heart space versus the mind wandering.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful advice. And parenting, as you said, it's not always the easiest straight and narrow road, but it is worth it. And we do love them, but we need to know that we're supported and that what we're going through, for the parents out there, it's normal. It's normal. And these tips and tricks, that Robin's kind of sharing today, it's when your energy's right, you can share good energy with your child, right? And then on top of learning these other techniques. So Robin, if our listeners want to know more, where can they find you?
I would love for them to check out my website, and that is one stress.com. So one less stress is what I want to help new parents have. And yeah, check it out. And I've got local classes. I can do the classes online. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you're not even limited by distance. It does not matter where
Correct.
you are. You can help people out like via internet.
Yes.
Via the super highway.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, it's been wonderful having you, and thank you for sharing all of your well-earned knowledge. I no longer have infants, but if I did, I would definitely be doing this with them. I do have teenagers. I'm going to go ahead and hire someone else to do. I don't know about big now, but I'm gonna go ahead and pay someone else to do that. But really, I love the work that you're doing. I think it's beautiful. I think it's amazing, and the fact that it can have that neurological positive effect on the parent and the baby just blows my mind. I think that's just so beautiful.
Me too. That's the piece I'm the most passionate about, honestly. And Christine, thank you so much for having me on today. And I just thank you for all of your excitement towards passion and helping others. And you're a beautiful person.
Oh, this has been Business Therapy with Christine Salvo, licensed marriage and family therapist, advanced certified mediator, and hypnotherapist. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye-bye. Good morning. Welcome to Humanity Meets Business.